back with the quote of the day. We're not really going the quote route today. We're doing more of a story that I thought was very interesting coming out of the Warren Buffett end. I was watching a YouTube video today and heard this content creator basically talk about rules that Warren Buffett would employ with a lot of his workers, regardless of what they are. This one in particular with a helicopter pilot, I believe, that would fly him around, or a plane pilot. Either way, he was a pilot that would fly him around on a daily basis. And it came from the pilot kind of having a moment where he was like saying that he would still be working with Mr. Buffett for over 10 years. And Warren was like, man, if you're working for me in 10 years from now, like, I did something wrong. Like, you should be out of here, on to better, which I already thought was cool, but not the lesson. And then because the employee had that mindset, he basically went over with him something he calls his 5/25 rule. And I thought it was interesting. I was listening, I was seeing what it was. And he basically had the pilot write down 25, in order, 25 of his top main priorities for business, for life, basically for overall, for everything. And he wanted him to order it 1 to 25, every single thing, and to think about it, like think about the order, don't have anything misplaced, have your 1 to 25 laid out. And then he went over it with them, and they went over one by one each thing. They went from 1 to 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 to 25. And as he was going over it, he was like, all right, so what are your, plans to work on each thing, basically? And then he looked at like the 1 and 2, and he was like, this is what I'm going to spend most time with. Then 3 to 5 is what I'm going to spend, the rest of the time with. And then any time that I have that's free, or when I have like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm going to do what's underneath there. And then Warren immediately was like, see, that's where you're wrong. You need to immediately circle that top 5 and cross out the rest. So from 6 all the way to 25, giant X on it. Because his point was, you are never going to get to do that stuff. You're never gonna, it's not possible. You can't have that many priorities, because those priorities from 6 to 25 are just gonna make it so that you don't get 1 to 5 done. And I think that's so true, because I myself am someone that overextends himself 24/7. I could be a flood. See, and I 100% agree with that. I myself am someone that overextends himself 24/7, and I think a lot of that comes from doing the extra stuff is where you get overextended, opposed to if you're just working on your 1 to 5. So if you have 3 businesses and those 3 fall in your 1 to 5, and then family and a girlfriend or something along those lines are your 4 and 5, or are your 1 and 2, whatever it is, then that's it. That's all you can focus on. You have no time for anything else. And I think that's so true. I feel like a lot of times people will be working on stuff that in the long run doesn't have anything to do with their goal. And I think that's what I did a lot in my first business, Dowie Corp, where I'd just be doing stuff that wasn't a main priority. And then when stuff doesn't get done that are the main priorities, I'm like, oh man, what's going on? Why is this not getting done? And it's because I'm doing stuff that is very small and insignificant. So I think the 5/25 rule is a very smart thing to do, that makes you aware of where you're at and where you should be at and why stuff isn't getting done. Because I think if a lot of people made that list, they would see that they're spending 50% of their time or more on the 6 to 25, when you should be spending 1% of your time on that, maybe 5% at most. And it's so funny, because when he said that, I was like, wow, like that's actually very accurate. I think that alone would solve a lot of people's problems today, because it's just it's a lesson on priorities, and how you have to make your priorities known to you. And the sooner you do, you'll stop spending time on stuff that isn't one. So I hope I explained that well. I think he did a better job in the YouTube video explaining it, but I thought it was a phenomenal video, and I love learning lessons like that billionaires and ultra wealthy, successful people employ to themselves. And I think it's something that everyone can learn from, regardless of if you're in business or not. So, hey, if you're on the YouTube channel, you might as well hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on LinkedIn, please give us a share, give us a tag. I would love to hear other strategies like this, in all honesty. So if you can comment below just any type of strategy that I could check out for myself, that would be fantastic. I love learning about new strategies like that help improve your life. So comment that down below. As always, I'll be back tomorrow, and I will catch you guys soon.